Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I'm sharing another part of my renovating base game series and then also another part of my 7 days of base game mini series that I'm sharing throughout this week. Since The Sims 4 is now free to everybody, you guys can actually get it for free, which is very exciting. So to celebrate, that's what I wanted to do, was to do an entire week of base game builds, and this one is number 5. So if you guys have missed the previous ones, I will definitely have them linked so you guys can find them really easily. And if you guys aren't familiar with this build, this is the Solar Flare Lounge that you guys can find in Oasis Springs. I have been wanting to renovate this one for such a long time and I had just no idea what to do with it. I think the building itself actually looks pretty interesting. The only thing that I found really awkward, besides like the decorating, I felt like the interior is kind of awkward, but like the landscaping, I didn't think it looked bad necessarily. I just felt like for a community lot, it felt kind of awkward to have this entire like dirt lot with just some kind of like random greenery around. I didn't feel like it was very purposeful or very like community lot like. And so what I wanted to do was to make a hangout area. So I just added this little fountain here with some benches, and I thought that was kind of nice just to have right directly under the building. Just a cool place maybe for your Sims to come down and talk, or maybe to take some screenshots. And I also completely concrete in the entire lot and do more purposeful like flower beds just to make it feel more like a planned building basically. And so I thought that would be pretty cool. And then here is the entryway to the building. So it's just this tiny little room. I wanted it to feel more like a proper entryway to like a club, or because it's technically a lounge. I don't really like the lounge lot type for this particular lot. I'm not sure which one functions better because I'm not that familiar with the gameplay, but for me it felt more like a nightclub building. And so I don't know if you guys will agree. Of course you could easily change it. You would just probably have to add like a microphone. I think is the only thing it would probably need different. Hopefully it doesn't need anything more than that, but yeah, I just felt like it was more like a nightclub, and I felt like it needed a proper entryway, so I added that little rope fence just to kind of guide your Sims and make it feel more exclusive. And I add this counter over here just to sort of pretend that somebody works here and, I don't know, checks you in. Maybe the bouncer hangs out here when he's not outside or something. I don't know. I just felt like it needed something like that just to feel more realistic in some way, even though I'm not really sure if a nightclub like this would have a proper entryway like that. But I feel like somebody has to work here and they need somewhere to hang out. And so that's what I wanted to do. I also added some storage in there. So I was thinking maybe if it's a fancier place, maybe they'll take your coat or something. And so I thought that was kind of a cool way to add that, because I definitely feel like this place is kind of fancy. Let me know if you guys agree. And maybe the lounge lot type is better. I don't know. I didn't really feel it when I was decorating it. Anyways, here I am creating those flower beds like I was talking about. I also concreted in the lot, added some different lights, and just kind of rearranged the landscaping. Well, I pretty much redid the entire landscaping. I got rid of all of the original plants and then just added these nice little flower beds with some succulents and a few low-lying flowers. Here I was going to have 2 flower beds on either side of like the walking path, but once I did it, I just felt like it was kind of overkill, and so I removed the one closest to the building and just leave the one in the front, and I felt like this worked just fine. And then I put a bench over there to the left of the building just to kind of have somewhere for your Sims to sit down, maybe if they're waiting for their ride or waiting for the bus or taxi or whatever is taking them home or something. So I felt like that worked pretty nicely. And here I'm just continuing with the landscaping, pretty much doing the same thing over and over to create more purposeful landscaping, I guess was my whole point. And I really do like it. I feel like it feels like a proper community lot now. I feel like it did originally too, just the landscaping kind of bothered me basically. And I absolutely just love this fountain area. I think this would be such a cool place. Maybe if the club inside is getting too loud or it's too busy, your Sims maybe could just come down here and relax, get some fresh air or something, talk to somebody if they want to. And so I felt like that worked out pretty nicely. And then I also added some trash cans at the back of the building. So if your Sims need to throw something away, there's that too. And so yeah, I also changed the colors of the lights because the original building on the front and like right by the little side door at the entryway were changed to a red color. So I also do that with the ones by the fountain, and then I also changed the ones here at the very back balcony. I felt like this looked so cool and I just really loved the effect of it. And then here I'm moving on to the interior part of the club, or lounge, I guess is technically what it is originally. But yeah, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I felt like the staircase was kind of awkward, and I felt like there needed to be some separation of space. I tried adding that wall there and I didn't like it, and I was like, you know what I need to do is just remove everything and basically start over. Everything's still pretty much in its same location. I mean, it's a little bit different, especially in like the area close to the windows, but like the bar is in the same location. But I decided to actually make this area more separated than it was originally. So I raised it up on a platform, and I think this was a really good way just to make the bar a little bit more separate from like the dance area and the dining area and the sitting area. And so, yeah, I felt like that worked really nicely. And also adding this structure right here, I think added a lot of extra detail. The only thing I don't think I like that much about it is I added the exterior sign on both sides. I like the exterior sign on this side by the staircase, but I'm not sure if I like it on the other side, just because you can see it from the exterior when you're taking pictures. And it just kind of seems, I don't know, just kind of, repetitive and unnecessary because there's already that sign on the exterior of the building. And so I might remove it and I might add something else. We'll see what I do. But something I was definitely thinking about when I was taking the screenshots for it. But anyways, over here is the bar. So like I said, it's the same place where the bar was originally. I just decided to do smaller windows so I could add the drink shelves basically right behind the bar, because before they were on the walls next to the bar and I really wanted them to be directly behind the bar. And something that I noticed when I was playtesting this, that there's a lot of space behind the bar itself, and so there was a lot of Sims hanging out behind the bar. So I actually decided to bring it a little bit closer to the drink racks, and this seemed to kind of limit the Sims hanging out there a little bit more. There were still like 1 or 2 Sims that would walk behind the bar, but the way I have it originally, there was like all of the Sims were behind the bar, and it just seemed so weird and awkward. So yeah, I think that fixed it. And then here I created a little dance area. I put a stereo, and I also added this rug that I felt could mimic a dance floor. Of course, we don't have dance floors with base game. We have them with Get Together, and then also with My Wedding Story. So if you have either one of those packs, then you could have a dance floor and you could put it in its place. Definitely if you have Get Together, that would probably be better, because then maybe you could have like a DJ booth instead of the stereo. But I don't know if a DJ booth really matches the style of this particular, I don't know, this particular building. Maybe it's more like a lounge. I don't know. I am so indecisive. I just felt like a piano or something didn't really match in here, but I guess there wasn't one originally. It was just like a microphone, and I think there was a violin and a guitar maybe. I don't know. You guys can let me know because I really have no idea. Over here I do have a dining area, and so this is the other sign that I was talking about. So it's the same sign that's on the front of the building. I just felt like I didn't really have great artwork to put over there, but maybe I could have found something better rather than that sign. And I think I'm definitely going to look, because I don't like that you can see it from outside. So yeah, it kind of bothered me. Here I did have a lot of trouble with that staircase that's next to that platform. I really wanted to fill in that space with a platform because I didn't want it to disappear when the walls were in cutaway mode. But unfortunately, anytime I edited any of the walls or anything, it made the staircase shoot up to the platform level. And so I just kept having to redo it every single time, which was kind of frustrating, but it is an easy fix if you guys decide to play in this build and you want to leave the platform in that space and you decide to change something. If the staircase shoots up, all you have to do is just replace it and it'll place just fine, and it'll stay there until the building gets edited again. So I hope that that changes at some point, because it's kind of a frustrating little glitch. But anyways, over here is going to be the bathroom. So there's 4 stalls total between both of the bathrooms, and they're just on either side of this hallway leading to the back balcony. It's just where the bathrooms were originally, so I decided to keep them in the original place. I just changed up the colors a little bit, and then also I copied over the rooms so they're identical, and I just think they look so much better than they did originally. I'm really happy with like the wallpaper choices that I chose, and like the flooring, and changing the light color. I think like gave this whole build like such a cool mood, and I don't know, I really enjoyed doing that in this build. And if you guys are wondering how I'm editing the light color in build mode, this is possible with the Better Build and Buy system by Twisted Mexi. So I always have it linked in the description box. You guys can go straight to his website, find both that mod and the tool mod really easily. But anyways, this is it for the build. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and hopefully you guys are looking forward to more parts of my renovating base game series and more parts to my mini series of my 7 days of base game, which is going throughout this week. And so there's only a few more to go, but like I said, I will have them linked so you guys can find them really easily. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.